Alrighty, let's give this a spin before we pick the 151st ball. Here we go. Which one will it be? It will be kicking it off with 371. Next up is 128. Coming up next, we have, 11. Lucky number 11. Coming up next is 3. Wow, 2 very low numbers in a row. Coming up next is 138. Next up is number 35. What's with all the low numbers? Next up is, 222. That is very nice. You love to see it. Next up is number 388.
188?
388. Next up is 252. Coming up next, we have 152. Next up is number 335. Coming up next is 282. Another palindrome. You gotta love it. Next up is 299. That's almost 300. Whoa! Next up is 265. Huh. Next up is 74. Coming up next, we have 172. Fantastic. And next up, we have 392. Alrighty. Next up, we have 111. 111 and 222 in the same session. That's pretty crazy. And next up is 5. Gotta love the lows, the single digits. Next up is 291. Coming up next, we have 273. I believe that is a prime number. Next up is 2. Gotta love it, gotta love it. That's our new lowest. And next up is 333. We got all of those in the same one. That's crazy. I believe we got 11 this time too. And next up is 77. These numbers that are just the same number a couple times, just going crazy. Next up is 359. And coming up next is 193. Gotta love it, gotta love it. And next up is 15. Just a clean, nice, simple number. And next up is, that is a 9. We have differentiated the handwriting on the 9s and the 6s. Next up is 10. Fitting that it follows 9. And next up we have 384. How fun, how fun. Next up we have 218. Your donation tonight helps support the arts. Something near and dear to me. Thank you so much. Number 159 is next. Next up is, I thought that ball was blank for a second, but it is number 87. Coming up next, we have 329. And coming up next, we have 381. It's a fun one. That is a fun one. Next up is 316. Coming up next is number 19. Getting a lot of very low numbers. Next up is 393. Coming up next, we have 243. Wow. Next up, we have 45. Next up is number 197. See what's next. Next up is 24. And coming up next, we have 100. That's a clean number. Very clean number. And next up we have number 351. Perfect, perfect. Coming up next, we have number 36. Next up is number 303. Very nice number. Another palindrome. Next up is 357. Alrighty. Coming up next is 215. And next up we have 272. And the number 200 ball is... Ooh, gave that one an extra shake so you know they're mixed up properly. It is number 358. Congratulations to number 358. The crowd goes wild yet again.